This conference will now be recorded.
So today we will discuss about the list. So far we discussed about the string, right? So we have completed string. Hope all students understand about the string, right? So do you have any doubts in the string? So
No, Sunil.
string again, yeah, again we will discuss when we are discussing about the functions. Okay, so there how we can use strings by using functions and okay, those are type of scenarios we will see in the functions classes. Okay, so today we will discuss about the list. So what is the list? So can anyone tell what is the list? All students? Yeah, Prashant,
Yeah,
Oma, Mahesh, what is the list?
yeah. List is a hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
List is just like a array, so where you can store different type of data types.
Okay, so any other? So list is a collection of individual items or objects, okay, in a single entity where insertion order and duplicates are allowed here. Okay, so list is a mutable, so you can increase list or decrease list. Okay, so if you means insertion order preserved means if you insert the so list we can declare as like this. So in the square brackets we can declare this list. So whatever the items you want to add, you can add like this. Okay, so if you add like this, it will be like stored like this only. So this order won't change. Okay, so whatever the order you have given, it will be remain same. Okay, so that is the insertion order is preserved. Okay, duplicate duplicates allowed means you want to do insert duplicate objects, you can insert duplicate objects. Okay, so and it allows the heterogeneous objects. What is the meaning of heterogeneous objects? Insertion order is preserved. Okay, so heterogeneous objects allowed. So what it means? Heterogeneous objects means so different objects like here this is the integer, right? You can take string, float, anything. 123.45 and 10 and you can use tuple in this. Okay, like that whatever the objects available you can declare it in a list. Okay, so it allow all the objects whatever we have in the Python, it will allow. That's why we call it as heterogeneous objects allow. Okay, so As I told, list is we can increase the list or decrease the list, means list is dynamic. Okay, so you can change the list and you can add or decrease, remove the items from the list. Okay, understand, right? So if you want to declare a list, so how can you declare? So suppose you want to declare list, you can declare like this. Okay, you can declare like this list. So suppose you want to add a one item to list, right? So you want to add one item to list. So how can you add like this? So if you give like this, it won't take. So you have to give one comma. So because list list allows multiple objects, right? So if you give only one, it won't take, and if you should give the one comma after the one object or item. Okay, understand, right? Here.
Yes, Sunil.
Okay, so I will show you ideally. So list one, you will declare like this, right? So how can you know whether this list one variable is list or not, right? So if you want to know, how can you know? Type of list one means variable. This is the type function. It will show the what is this type of that variable has. Okay, so type of list one means it will show the type of list one variable, means here class list. Okay, this is the list data type. Okay, so as I told you, so if you want to, yeah, like this also you can add. So I told you, right, this one, so it allowed to add. So but here in this ideally it allowed, right, but in some other ideally it won't allow. So you should give the at least one comma after the 10, means list one. So if you give one comma also, it will allow. This ideally it is allowing. So in some other ideally it won't allow. Okay, that's why we should give the comma after one element. Okay. So suppose I want to give, this is the static, right? You are giving the static way. So whatever the data you want to give, you are giving in the static way, right? So I dynamic way. So how can you give the dynamically data to the list? Okay, suppose I have list 2. Okay, so I want to take the list data from command prompt or terminal. So how can you give? Enter list. So here you should give the whatever the list you have, you should give. So but input allow. So whatever the data you have given, input only consider it as a string. Okay, if you give list, it will consider it as a string. So if you give any integer, it will consider it as a, okay, it will consider it as a string. So always input function will return the string only. Okay, that is why you have to evaluate that input string by using the eval function. Okay, eval function evaluate the expression whatever you have given as a input, or if you give any expression here in the evaluate function, it will evaluate that expression, it will convert into the that type data type. Okay, so suppose here we are giving the list, we are entering a list in the command prompt. Okay, so that is why it should convert it to list by using the eval. Okay, so let's show you. So it is asking list, right? How can you give list? like that I am giving C. So how it converted as list. So if you see type of list, list 2, list 2, how it gives, this is the type is list data type. So you want to make sure that how the input is written the string. So with you remove the eval function, remove this eval. So if you remove eval function, enter list. I am entering the list. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. So list 3. If I print list 3, so here it returns the string. So it is in single quote, right? If anything present in single quotes, that we call it as string, right? So we have given this list as a input. So input returns the string. So that is why earlier we used eval function to convert string to list. So it will take the input to string. So it will evaluate. So it will evaluate the what it has in the string. It has the list, right? It will evaluate and it will return the list. Okay, that is why here if you see this is the type is list. So here you can also no list 3. If you enter list 3, you can see this is the string. Here it is the list. Okay, understand, right? Any doubts you have? Anyone any
Sunil,
doubts?
actually,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, yes, Sunil. Actually, eval function will work for all type of data types.
Which one? Yeah, it will
E-
work.
eval.
We already discussed, right? So you
Yes,
can
yes.
give
Actually,
str3 like this. So you can give eval of so expression if you want to give 123.45 into 23 123. What it will give here 3. See, it evaluates this expression and gives the result, right? Understand, right?
yes, yes. So I mean, if any input actually
See,
will give any string.
yeah. So if you give the directly this string, so what it return? It will consider as a string and return whatever we have it in the double quotes. See, str2. It won't evaluate this expression, right? So like that, you can give the list, tuple, dictionary, anything you want to give here, it will evaluate and it will give the output. Okay, understand, right? Any doubt you have?
Yeah, got you, Sunil.
Yeah. Suppose first way is list of, this is the one way, right, to declare the list. So another way also we have to list 3 you can take. Okay. So list of, okay. So range I already discussed, right? So what it return? I am giving range 1 to 29. Okay. So what it return? So range function will return range of values from 1 to 29. So it won't include 29. It will include up to 28 only. So it will return up to, sorry, 1 to 28. Okay, it will write like a sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. It will give the sequence up to 28. So, it won't include the 29. Okay, so if you see list 3, see how many values it added. So, like that also you can add the range of values in the list by using the list function. Okay, suppose you have the list 4. Okay, I have str4. So I have the string like Python training. Okay, so here you want to convert list to 5 4 to, so here I have the string. So if I want to convert this, what you can do, by using list function. In the list function you have to give the whatever the variable you want to convert into list. Okay, if you print this one list 4, what it will give, see. So each character in the string, it will convert as a each object. Okay, each character converted as a each object and write it into list. Okay, understand, right? Any doubts you have here? Okay, so we have the some functions, right? List, split, reverse and all, right? We have some functions. Okay, so what those functions will return? Yeah, Prashant, what those functions will return? Tell me, what is the split functionality? I have str4 here, the string. So
Yes,
I
yes.
want to
Actually, we have
split.
to do the delimited. Yeah, we have to give the
See,
separator so it will split into two.
yeah, here str4 dot split. When I give like this, so by default, what it will consider? Tell me.
Yes,
If I won't give
space.
anything, what it will consider? Space, right? Okay. If I enter, so it returns the list. Okay, split will returns the list. Okay, so if you want to access the items in the list, you can, by using for loop and all, you can access. Okay, understand, right? This is the another way of getting the list. Okay, so far you learn the list, right? So another one, suppose I have list 5. In this list 5 I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, like this, and again started the another list. It has the test 1 and test 2 and test 3. You have like this. So is it possible to give like this?
Yes, sir, ma'am, it's
Yes,
possible.
Yeah. So if I give list 5, it is possible. Okay. Till here, any doubts? Hope you all clear, right? See, any doubt, if it is small or big, you can ask me. Okay. So this is the list we have. Okay. So we will go to paint. This is the data we have, right? So here how the Python will assign the index to the each element in the list. So suppose in other language also we have the index of the, if you have array, right, you have the index of array for each element, right? So similar way in this list we have the index. So it will start from 0. Okay, this is 1. Okay, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. What it is here? What index it will give? Anyone tell me? It will give 5 for entire this
Yeah,
list.
for the entire. Yeah,
Yeah,
I wish to one for test one.
yeah, in the test, so it will start again 1 for test, 2 for test 2. Sorry, it will start from 0, right? 0, 1, 2. Okay, so this is the forward direction indexing. So it will start from the 0. 10 has the 0 index, 21, 32, 43, 54, and this entire list has one index 5. So again this list start again from another index. This is the sub index. Okay, 0, 1, 2. Okay, understand, right? Yeah. So like that we have the reverse index also. So this is the -1. Okay, this is the -2. This is the -3. Like that it will give -4, -5 until -6. Okay, yeah. So again this sub index has the, this is comma -3, -2, again -1. So like that it will assign the index to each and every element in the list. So understand, right, this indexing, how Python will assign the forward indexing and backward indexing. Understand, right? Any
Yes,
doubt you have? Yeah. Suppose if you want to access the elements from 0 to 10 to 40, how can you access? 10 to 10 to 40 I want to access from this list. How can you access?
0 is to 4.
0 is to 4. Yes.
Oh,
So there is a two concepts there. One is indexing and slicing. So what is the indexing? The list, by using index you can access, like list 1 I have. In the list 1 I want to access fifth position index. Okay, like if you give fifth it will access the fifth position index. Like the slicing means list 1 of, if you want to access range of elements from the list, then you can use the slicing operator. So this it will has the colon. In this brackets you have to give the colon. If you give like this it will take entire lists from the entire elements from the list. So you want to give the starting and up to position, like 4. If you give the 4, it will take up to 4, but not include the 4. Okay, up to 3 index it will access. Okay, but not access the 4th. Okay, understand, right?
Yes, Sunil.
Are you clear about indexing and slicing? So I will show you the example. Suppose we have the list 5. So I want to access list 5 of 5th. Okay, what it will return in the 5th index position? What it has? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the we have. So that is why if you give list 5 of 5, it will return the this one. Okay. See, if you give list 5, so it won't change. Just it will access the elements from the list. Indexing will access the elements from the list, and you can use in your programming to compare any conditions or anything you want to do any operations. You will by using the indexing you will do it. Okay. So suppose slicing, we have the slicing, right? We discussed about the slicing. Slicing means I want to access from 1 to 5. Okay. 1 to 5 means if I give 1 to 5, how many elements you will get here?
5 elements.
No, only 4 elements.
10 to
See,
50.
10 won't include, right? Here index start from 0. Okay. So it won't include 10. So from 20 it will start 20, 30, 40, 50. So up to 5 it will access. Okay, means this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, from until here it will access. Okay, 4 elements it will return. Okay, so here I have the sublist also, right? So if you want to access the elements, I want to access the test2. So how can you access? Can anyone tell me? I want to access step test2 from sublist. How can you access? Can anyone tell me? What is the index of sublist? 5, right? Okay. What is the
Yes.
subindex of test2? 1,
1.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you got here? Test2. So this is the main index. This is the subindex. So you have to give like this if you want to access anything in the sublist. Okay. Understand, right? You can give the range also. In sublist you want to access different items. You will give 5 in the 5 index. We have to give 1 to okay 3. So there is no 700. You give like this. So I have given 1 to 3, right? So it will access and up to 2. So it has the index 0. This is 2. This is 1. This is 2. So if you want to access until 2, how can you give here slicing? So range index is
0 to
3, right?
3. Yes.
No, I want to access only test2 and test3 means I should give here 1
1
to
to 3.
3. You understand, right? Here any doubts you have?
No, Sunil.
Okay. So one thing I want to tell you here. So I am accessing 9 here. So will it give result or it will throw any error?
Error.
Out of index here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here we have up to 5. So we are accessing behind that range. So that is why list index out of range error we got. Okay, understand, right? We have the minus index also, right? List 5 of, so minus 1. If we go minus 1, what it will return?
Test. Test 1, test 2, test.
Yeah, it will return the sublist. Okay.
Yes.
Likewise, if you want to access any other, you have to give like this minus index, right? Right? Understand, right? So as I told you, list to 5. If I give like this, it will access entire list. See, entire list. So here you want you didn't specify anything, right? That is why it has considered starting from end of the list. Okay. So like this also you can give list of, if you haven't given any starting position and you have given like this end position. Okay. If you give like this, it will consider from 0 and up to 5. Okay. It returns is 0 to 5. Okay. Understand, right? So if I give, I want to reverse this list. How can you do it? See, if you give like this, so I think you won't understand this one. You didn't understand, right? So I will explain. That is the step. So list to 5, you have the step function one. Okay, I have given 5. 0 to 5 I am accessing. Step I am giving 2. Okay, means each second character it will skip and give. See, this is the first. Second it skipped. So and cursor here it access. This is the second one. So it skipped. Okay, like that it will only, it will skip this step. Okay, if you give 3, list 5 of 5 comma 3. Yeah, so what you will got? So it skipped the 3 in the, see, it skipped the first, cursor is here. So it access this one. Here index is 0. So this is 1. This is 2. This it access 40. So it skip the 2 in between. It access the 40. Okay. You call it as step 3. If you give step 3, it will, every third character it will include. In between first and the third, first and fourth, it skip the 2 characters, the 2 elements. It skip the 2 elements, and the third, whatever the third element it has, it access. So here also same thing. If you give 2, so this is the first one, 0. This is the second one, it skip. So after, and from here, this is the second, right? It access this one. So from here, this is the second, right? It access this one. So like that also you can consider. Understand, right? Anyone, any doubts here? Understand, right? So earlier we told about list is mutable, right? So list is mutable. What is the mutable here? So once you created the, you created list to 5 object, right? So if you were able to modify this list to 5, then we call it as mutable. Okay. So it can be changed in any format, any form. So that is we call it as mutable. Okay. So what else we have in the list? Suppose I have the list 5, right? So I want to access element by element in the list. How can you access? You want to access element by element. For
For loop.
I in print of I. Okay. See, item by item we access DN. So in real time, how can we evaluate this list? Some of the suppose as I discussed earlier class, suppose you developed any project. So in that you take a e-commerce project. Suppose for the one store you have. So in the store, what are the items available? You have to hard code or you have to store it in a one list or in a database, right? If you store in a database also, when after retrieve from the database, you should store it in the list only. So there is no other way, right? In the program, when you retrieve data from the database, you have to store it in the list. Okay, you access the retrieve the data of so particular vendor items. So for that particular vendor items, what are the items we have? You store it in the list. Suppose you inquired about the iPhone mobile. So for that particular vendor, in the vendor items, do we have iPhones or not? You have to check in the list. So here you are accessing one by one, right? So here you can put the condition like if iPhone equal to I, then you print iPhone found in the vendor items list for this vendor. Okay, like that you will do. So otherwise, if you want to do any logical operations, you can do. Understand, right? Do you have any doubts here?
Innovation.
Suppose here I have this list. I want to access even position items from this list. How can you access? For I in list 5. Okay. So here you have to give the condition I divided by 2 equal to 0. Then you have to print that I. Okay. These are the C. Why you have got this one, this error? See, why you got this error? Can anyone tell me?
I think we need to type first.
Yeah, here you cannot divide this list. Okay. So for that you have to give the list one you have, right? List two. Yeah, list two you have, right? I will copy this one. Paste it here. Instead of list, I have to give list two. See, if I divided by two. So what it has given? It has given the data whatever it has in this for loop. This is not the correct way. You have to clear this. I will explain this editor. So you have the list one here. Suppose in this list you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for elements in list one, you got all the elements, right? So if e divided by 2 equal to 0, then you have to print e. Okay.
2468.
What are the values you got here? 2468. Okay, whatever the even position you have, it will retrieve those items from this list. So like that, if you give not equal to, it will give the odd. Okay, understand, right? So any doubts you have so far? If you want to find out the length of the list, how can you do it? I want to find out what is the length of the list. So how can you find out? len of list 5. Okay, if you give like this, so what it give? 6, right? You have only 6 elements in the list 5. Okay, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But elements is 6, right? That is why it return the 6. Understand, right?
Yes.
See, sometimes you want to find out the length of the sublist. So how can you find out? This is the sublist, right? List of 5, list 5 of 5. If you give like this, it will access the sublist, right? So we are finding the length of this sublist. Okay, understand, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we have the another function that is count. So how it will work? Count. So you have the
Count.
list to 5 dot count. If you give count, so here what you have to give here? Tell me, when I give this one, see, one is there or not here? One is not there in the list, right? So that is why it return the 0. So if we give 10, so how many times it give? Only one time, right? So I am giving list 6. This list is 6. I am entering 10, 20. Like that I have given. I have list 6. So list 6 dot count of 10. If I give 10, what is the output?
4.
Yes. So how many times 10 exist in this list? 4 times, right? That is why you got 4 count. Like that, you will find out the count of items, repeated items exist in the list. You will find out by using the count. Okay. So you have the another one. So index. So what it will return? So what is the use of index? I have
It
index.
returns the index value.
Yes, correct. Suppose I have the list 6, right? So I want to find out. Okay. So what it will give? So what it gave here? 0 is
0 is
not in the list, right? So because here list doesn't exist the 0. That is why it failed to find out the index of 0. Okay. So list 6 dot index of I am giving 20. So what is the output you expect here?
2.
Any, anyone tell me? 2.
2.
Yeah. So understand, right? Until here. So that's
Yes,
it for today class. So anyone has any doubts, you can ask.
Sir,